here we have another one.
Yeah.
You have a smell there, have a whiff, have a
Oh, whoa.
sniff.
Wow.
Another very distinctive
Yes.
coffee.
Wow, it's powerful.
Lovely coffee. This is another fruity coffee, and now I'm reluctant since I since I missed it in a little bit with Henry, or jumped to conclusions with Henry's House of Coffee blend, but I would guess that there's naturals in here in the blend. It could be very sweet, fruit-toned, washed coffees. It's brighter than the Henry's, I think.
Mm-hmm. Out in the nose, yes.
Yeah, it definitely is brighter than the Henry's, which would mean that it's probably it's very sweet, very pure and sweet washed coffees, perhaps. Lovely. The roast, the impact of the roast really is only just to round the coffees, I think, to round and soften the brightness. I don't get much, at least in the nose, I don't get much distinct roast character.
Interesting.
But it's a very pronounced coffee. It has very character. It announces its presence very strongly. So perhaps that would make it acceptable to a dark roast lover, because its intensity might seduce the dark roast lover. Now, it doesn't strike me as quite as distinctive in the cup as in the nose. I'm going to taste the Henry's House of Coffee here. By the complex blends can be a test of any coffee taster's skills, including this one.
Okay. Well, what fun would it be doing the show if we didn't test each other, you know? So.
Well, this is a very attractive blend, and I would guess that this one has some naturals in it.
Yeah.
But it also has some very sweet, high quality, rather bright washed coffees as well. And where they're from, you can't tell anymore, because people are producing different processes all over the coffee world.
Well, that happens with all industries as they learn from each other.
You just wanted to stump me when you chose these coffees, Kevin. You could have given me a nice, clear example, you know. Ethiopian natural or something like that. It's easy, right? Yeah. Costa Rican washed. I don't know.
They're all different from each other.
I'm getting now, when I go back to number 4, I'm getting a kind of a whiny character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which again would be normally a sign of naturals.
Yeah, it's hard to honestly. It's hard to believe there isn't a natural in number 4.
Well, I still think that number 4 has naturals in it, or honey processed coffees, and I think number 5 is mostly washed or entirely washed, probably.
Is it possible, Ken, that number 4 is the honeys, and using honeys in their view means we don't have to say they're naturals? Is that I don't know why anyone would be concerned
Yeah,
either way, but maybe
honey,
just for privacy.
honey coffees are honey coffees. The Brazilians call them pulped naturals,
Pulp naturals.
meaning that they've been skinned but still dried in the fruit. With honey coffees, I don't know, we started off with roast, and here we're talking about processing methods, but honey coffees are not, it's hard to predict if you just know that they were honey coffees, because sometimes producers actually strip with a machine, they strip some of the pulp, the fruit pulp, off the beans. And then the Costa Ricans call that white honey or yellow honey, because there's less of the fruit pulp left on the bean. Or they'll call, if all of the fruit pulp is left on the bean, the Costa Ricans call that red honey. If it's dried very slowly, so it gets a little bit of musty, earthy character, they might call it black honey. And most places in the world, they don't make these distinctions, but what it indicates is that simply because a coffee is honey processed, it's hard to predict much about the characteristics in the cup. You could have one that's, and how they're dried, of course, is very important, how fast they're dried and what conditions. So you could have very clean tasting honey that's not too much distinguished from a washed coffee, or you could have a really funky, kind of musty, fruity, if it's a kind of what the Costa Ricans call black honey. So it's not predictable. Well, that's a long, long disquisition on honey coffees, isn't it?
Yeah, the sucrose content was incredible.
Maybe you could say it's a please everybody blend. I don't know.
Both 4 and 5, to me, would be acceptable to a lot of people that I know that tell me they don't like dark roast.
It's a pretty forceful coffee.
It is.
So it doesn't transform much in milk, I don't think, but it remains itself. It maintains character in milk
Stands
in a
up
pleasant
to it.
way.
Yeah, it stands up.
Like with some of the others that we've tasted, the milk sort of reduce their power, reduce their character, reduce their energy. But here, coffee is a well-structured coffee that will maintain its character right through the milk, or the half and half.
Be no hesitation putting milk in it if you wanted milk, because you're not going to lose your coffee.
It does kind of chocolate,
Yeah.
turn the fruit chocolatey.
Yeah.
I mean, it maintains the brightness.
Mm-hmm.
So chocolate fans might be disappointed by the bright character of the, but it's definitely a bright and chocolatey coffee, both, when you taste it in milk.
Surprising, because this was a surprise of the tasting to me.
What is it?
Here we go.
Kevin, can you unveil it? Allegro.
It's look at this.
No!
Look at
You
this.
see,
Extra dark.
This is a. Kevin, remove it so I can see your face.
Uh-oh.
That this is a perfect example of the misleading or confused confused use of terminology of the English language in representing roast.
Yeah.
This is simply not. Let me look at it
Yeah,
again.
sure.
Does it say
Oh,
dark
extra
French?
dark.
Extra
Extra
dark
dark.
French. This is crazy.
Yeah, look at that, folks.
See, I think what intense, smoky, full. I mean, they should just Allegro. May I speak to Allegro? Allegro, get a new copywriter. Have this person taste coffees and then write the copy. What you should say is a marvelously balanced, darker roast. Does it give any indication of blend
No.
components?
No, none.
But I have give it to Allegro. This is a terrific coffee.
Yeah, this is really nice. And I was on this just to give you a little background. I was on a fence between this. There's an organic version that's not extra, and I said, well, we want a French, and I thought, I actually surprised. I expected this to be the darkest coffee we had, which is one reason I put it last. Now I think I screwed up a little bit, but on that. But I have to say, it just shocks me that this coffee is so drinkable and so, in some ways, middle of the road. I mean, it's got everything for everyone.
Oh, well, I don't know. It's middle of the road. It has character. Middle of the
right.
road.
I don't mean to say it doesn't have character. I didn't mean that. I mean that.
Well, I guess the middle of the road has character.
I mean it. It was not by far the darkest of the coffees we've had, and it was
the perhaps we should do Agtron readings of darkness of roast with these. I'm absolutely positive that this would not be the darkest.
No.
That the darkest probably is the Starbucks Sumatra,
I think the Starbucks
or the Major Dickinson's. And what was
fundamental?
number 3?
Fundamental, I thought was maybe the darkest. My opinion. I don't know. I didn't do Agtron ratings. It's the one piece of equipment I've not snuck past my wife. But extra dark. I think the extra word is just totally. Because frankly, it might have prevented me from ever trying it before. This is one coffee. I think it's the only coffee in the bunch that I've never had before.
If there's a lesson here about the industry, well, I'm not sure there is. But if there is,
labeling.
It would be that the third wave light roasters are prevailing, because it could be that roasting companies like Allegro are deliberately backing off. And even Major Dickinson's seems to be a little backed off of where Pete's usually goes. So I'm not sure whether it's just coincidence or accident, or whether without changing the language, they're changing the roast. I mean, Allegro plainly, there's some deliberate or unconscious misrepresentation between language and the roast. And it's a very fortunate one, because it's a splendid coffee.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Well, that was more challenging, Kevin, than I expected it to be.
Yeah, me too. In fact, I recall when we talked about what we wanted to work on next, and I kind of batted it around with everyone here, and I said, in a way, this could be the shortest show we've done because of the fact that I thought, are we going to be able to tell them apart? Very much not the case. They were very distinctive coffee differences between them.
But I want to repeat again that what I'm saying about ultra dark roasts, which we have none here,
Not really.
none,
No, not really.
none.
Yeah.
But with ultra dark roasts, those are the ones that taste the same. Dark roasts, regular dark roasts, whatever they are, I don't know. Here we have one dark roast, two dark roasts, I suppose, if you count the peats. They're very different.